Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. It is Thursday, so let's talk Turner syndrome. So today I actually wanted to continue kind of a series that I want to do on advice to parents of a girl or a woman with Turner syndrome. I say woman because in all honesty, I'm 26 and I still need my mom. Like, I still need her wisdom. I still need her advice. I still count her as very much helping me through the different ways that Turner syndrome affects me still. There are still many different ways it'll affect my life that I haven't even hit yet, and that's on top of the ways it's affecting me right now that I'm going through. So I believe any stage your child is in, you are still needed for them, and they still need your advice and your guidance and your wisdom. And so it's important to understand best for you what they need from you, how to help them. And today I specifically wanted to talk about being their advocate if they're little, or helping them be their own advocate if they're a little older and able to make those choices themselves, or they're starting to form their own opinions on what they would like to do with it. There's so many different aspects to all of the medical stuff with Turner syndrome. Having an advocate, having a voice that is fighting for you and what's best for you and for your voice to be heard is so important. So I think this applies to every parent. And specifically, to start off, I wanted to talk about when they're little. So when they're little, you're the one making the medical choices. You're the one that actually understands what's going on with them. And while the doctor's advice is extremely valuable and extremely important to have, and I would not just ignore something they say just because they said it, you also have to understand that every case is different enough that they're not going to know your daughter's case as well as you do. No matter how much they've seen her, no matter how much they really do care and they are trying and they're using the best knowledge that they have, you are with your child every single day. You see how her body acts, you see her demeanor, the differences that she has that are the actual real life everyday ways Turner syndrome affects her. You see it way more than they see. And because of that, you have to be her voice. You have to filter what they're telling you with what you know to be true about your daughter, with what you know about who she is and how she is and how it affects her, how you see it affect her. That can come in a lot of different forms just because there's a lot of different stuff that comes up with Turner syndrome. But I think it is extremely important to make yourself knowledgeable, to ask questions if you don't understand well enough to make a decision you're comfortable with yet. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I would hope the doctors would want you doing that so that you can make an informed decision as a parent. If they're pushing back against it, just stand your ground and say, no, I need to research this more before I make a decision. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's really good to communicate that and stand up for making sure you're doing what's best for her. A lot of the decisions my parents have had to make haven't been life or death for me. It's been, oh no, we're gonna wait to do the neck surgery because we don't really see it and we don't care and we don't know if she even will, and there's no need to put her through that right now. So it hasn't been super troublesome for them. On top of, I've had really great doctors most of my life, doctors that really understood, that really listened, and I have been very lucky with that. I've had a little bit of an opportunity to be my own advocate because switching to a new doctor can always be interesting, and then if you're bringing up something that you've experienced trouble with that you want to change, that they might just be starting out so they're not sure, maybe. I've only had a little bit of experience having any pushback. Most of the time, I've had very great doctors, and the only struggle I had before trying to figure out my medicine was just the normal environment of staying with a pediatric endocrinologist into my 20s. I got to stay with a pediatric endocrinologist till I was 21 because of how long she had me. She was amazing. I loved her so much, and she did listen, but there was also just some areas that she couldn't talk to me about that at that age I was curious about. So that was all that I have experienced. But I know my parents have told me stories of when I was really little, doctors suggesting stuff, and they're like, we're okay. Like, no, I don't think she needs that, like the neck surgery and growth hormone. I don't know that was ever pushed on them, but I'm sure they were asked, do you want to? Is that something you want to look into at all? Just to make sure. So now I want to switch a little bit to if your daughter's older and you're being an advocate for her, or you are helping her be her own advocate. As I've gotten older, my mom has turned from making those decisions for me to slowly teaching me how to critically think about everything, asking me more and more what I think and what I want or how I feel about something, and really helping me form my ideas about what's going on with me, and helping me to be my own advocate, to have my own voice about what's going on. And she has been somebody that I have always valued going to talk to about it, about different things that come up, like when I had to switch my medicine, and I told her, remember when I told you about the doctor that was like looking at me funny when I told her my stomach hurt from it, and how I told you that my stomach hurts from it, and da 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 da. And I said I went to my gynecologist and asked her about it, and she looked it up and said, oh yeah, I bet it's the higher level of estrogen that's doing that to you, and higher level of estrogen than you need is not usually a great thing. So she was very much like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm glad you said something, and she was super supportive, and she was just great to have there to talk to. And that's been very much the case as I've gotten older. It's been awesome having her to go talk to about something I'm dealing with it, or tell her how I feel about it, vent about it, or run ideas by her, especially as we've looked more and more into options for infertility. Really nice to have her there for emotional support, and especially to think through the various options that we have and kind of get her take on what information we've gotten and what she would suggest that we do. And I think as your daughter gets older, that's probably the biggest role you will take. Not maybe necessarily being her advocate, unless that is the medical situation you're in, but being there to help her be her own advocate in a myriad of ways. It's not just encouraging her to be, but it's also assisting her or guiding her in thinking through all of the different things that Turner syndrome comes with that you have to think through and navigate. And that would be my biggest advice, is to really focus on her certain case, helping the doctors to see what her specific case is as you know it, because I'm telling you, you probably know it better than they do, and helping her be her own advocate for her special case as she gets older. So that would be my advice of how to start. That would be my advice with helping her with what she needs from you. And of course, there's little details that are going to be specific to her, but I think that is an amazing place to start from. So I thought we would talk about that today. If there's any other ideas as far as what you guys have tried to think about or figure out, I would love to hear in the comments any other ideas for this series you would like to see. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped you in some way. If it did, give it a thumbs up and share it with everybody. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, click the screen and subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye!